just what I'm realizing now as a mom is how clearly I see the gospel in how my mom loved and cared for me. Just in 1 John 3:16 it says, "And this is how we know love, that Jesus Christ laid down his life for us, and we ought to lay our lives down for our brothers and sisters." And I'm just thankful for how my mom displayed this type of love and how she cared for me. She laid down her own interest to put mine above hers. She sacrificed comfort to care for me, whether it was a sleepless night due to sickness on my part, or whether it was me coming to her with a struggle I was going through, crying, and her just praying over me and realizing that I'm sure there was thousands of other things that she could be doing at that moment, but yet she took the time to care for me, and she laid down her life for me. And I really just see how she just displayed the gospel in her love for me, and I'm just so thankful for that now, being a mom and feeling the weight of caring for my son. And I can only hope and pray to God that I can display that same type of love to my son. And I'm just so thankful for just the way in which my mom loved me and sacrificed for me. So love you, Mom.
One way that my perspective of my mom changed when I became a mom was her time management skills. Right now, it's a challenge for me to get out the door with my baby before 10 o'clock in the morning, and just seeing how much she was able to accomplish with both my brother and I, and serve in our home, serve in the church, and take care of us, and run errands, and just really serve our family. And it really inspires me to try hard to stick to her example. One way that I thought I would never become like my mother when I was a mother was cutting off all my hair, and it happened.
I remember times that, whether it was after conflict and, all of us kids being crazy and fighting, and she'd be in her room praying and crying to the Lord. And I remember back then just thinking like, oh, Mom's so dramatic, and not really realizing like, when you have 5 kids who are all having a hard day, that really wears her down. So just seeing the way she sought the Lord through that, I just really appreciate, and knowing that she still is that same prayer warrior for us now in the way that she cares for us, and now her grandkids too. And that's something I definitely want to emulate in praying for my children. One thing which we still make fun of my mom about, is how she gives us all silly nicknames, but Stevens is the best. It's delight of my life, joy of my heart, the whole thing. That's what it is. So I was always like, oh, I'd never give any of my kids a nickname that will, make them think they're the center of the universe. And yet I've definitely gone and done that and call my son all sorts of things that are up in the realm of delight of my heart, joy of my life. So
I think my perspective of my mom changed in that I just, as a mom, understood everything that she did and said to me. And I appreciated more, and still do, just how she sacrificed so much, how she stayed up late at night to clean, and how she was just on her knees constantly praying for me and for all of us. So I guess one way I swore I'd never be like my mom is I would never be always cold, but as I'm getting older, I'm getting chillier. So
now that I'm a mom, I appreciate how much my mom sacrificed for me. I can't believe how many times I got in a fight with Jeff as soon as she jumped in the shower. I can't believe how many times I was banging on the door when she was trying to go to the bathroom. I can't believe that there would be 2 parents home in the house and my mom would be the only one that would know where anything is, the only one that could make me anything to eat. She took care of me constantly, and now that I'm a mom, I appreciate that a lot more than I used to. I swear I would never be as bubbly as Conference Kim, and I'm being told by all my friends that I've turned just into Conference Kim. But honestly now, I don't think that's such a bad thing. I think my kids are pretty great, and I'm happy to show them off to my friends.
I think the biggest thing is I realized how much my mom loves me. I had health issues when I was a teenager, and she would cry like every day that I wasn't feeling well, and I didn't really get it. And then I had kids, and I realized that this is how much my mom loved me, that every happiness and sadness I took on as my own, and I finally got that when I had kids. I remember thinking that I was gonna ruin my kids because of my sin, and I was worried that every time I sinned against them that it was kind of doing something to them that would ruin them. And then I had this moment where I realized that I remember my mom saying she was sorry all the time and asking for our forgiveness really specifically and saying how she wanted to change and be different. And I remember that. My mom did this thing where when she was yelling at one of us, she would like say all of our names. So it would be like, Justice, and we're like, who are you yelling at right now? And I don't do like the one name thing, but I say like, Al, Liv, what's your name? And I used to always make fun of her, and now I do the same thing. That's what happens when you're yelling at your family.